The fans in Detroit were treated to a wild, crazy night of racing. You saw crashes, passes, teammate on teammate crime. You saw big victories. Here's Hunter Lawrence, 5 of 6 now on the 2023 season. Fastest in qualifying, heat race winner, main event winner. And for Aaron Plessinger, almost had it, lost it. Chase Sexton capitalizes, gets the second win of the season in a very dramatic finish here in Detroit. It's the SMX Insider post-race show from Detroit, Michigan. Daniel Blair, Ricky Carmichael with you. Will Christian and Jason Thomas will be with us in just a second. And Ricky, we normally come in pretty fired up, excited, but I got to start with the heartbreak. Aaron Plessinger, he had it. It was right there, and then he didn't.
I'm so bummed for the guy. I mean, you and I were talking after the race was over, and it just, I don't know. I hope that he gets this opportunity again where he's like 7.5 seconds in the lead and can just ride it on into the checkered flag. But he's such a great guy. And I go back to his first 2 years of the 450 and then to get an opportunity on the Red Bull KTM team and then be in the position he was in today, it's so hard to do, and my heart hurts for him.
A lot of missed opportunity we're going to get into here in the post-race show, he being the big one, like you said. I mean, you don't often have a 7-second lead that you just carry all the way through, and that one little mistake, that one little big
I don't want to talk
mistake.
about it, man. I don't want to talk about it.
We're going to have to.
I know.
We'll start with the 250s. It's the 250 highlights from Detroit. We start in the heat race. Jordan Smith, Hayden Deegan. Wow.
I wasn't expecting this. I mean, this was right when the gate dropped, that first lap, and then Jordan Smith just getting, I personally think he was getting impatient. Then he makes another slip up right there. That was a good save, by the way. He did the same thing in qualifying practice there on that dragon back, but his night would get worse.
Yeah, no main event. Now for Hunter Lawrence in the main event, again, he has got the starts figured out, and he does right here. But watch Hayden Deegan almost decides to...
Oh, he almost got him. And I think that he looked at Hunter Lawrence looked over. He's like, I gotta go, I gotta go. He did.
Yeah, he checked out, wrote a perfect race. Jeremy Martin, Thrasher, Hayden, but it's Max Anstey.
Yeah, Anstey gets crossed up behind the rider. The guy going off, jumping off the track. Just really nothing he could do right there. And unfortunately, when you get a bad start, that's what happens. He pulls in the mechanics area, and something was wrong, looked like with the shift lever or something like that.
Thrasher in the rhythm section goes from left to right, threes out, makes the move on J-Mark for 2.
It was cool to watch those guys make that different rhythm lane work. And Thrasher has just had an incredible season so far, and it's great to see. But I got to give it up to the 238, Hayden Deegan. He makes the pass by Jeremy Martin. Jeremy Martin looked great all night long. But to be able to do what Hayden Deegan did, all the chaos he had in his heat race and come out and put it behind him, that was pretty cool.
Hunter Lawrence, clean race. Got through the lappers well, too. Checker flag wave, gets another win, 5 of 6. Yeah. And it's just rolling for Honda HRC.
Yeah, uneventful night for Hunter Lawrence. He deserves everything he's got. He's worked hard. He keeps improving. You know, I go back to the improvements he made last year and just making it even better this year.
Lawrence, Thrasher, Deegan, 1, 2, 3. When the checkers flew, we look at the results. And Ricky, you mentioned Colin Park and Cody Schock, Henry Mitt. Look at these guys getting in that top 10.
Keep your eye on those guys. They've slowly been getting better every single weekend and been being consistent as well. And I love to see the progression from those guys.
And for Hayden Deegan, his second podium of 2023, that one was hard fought. It was earned, had to get aggressive with J. Martin. Ricky, you like the bounce back too. He bounced back from the heat race, all the drama.
Yeah.
Got it done in that main event for a podium. Let's go to Jason Thomas with the winner of the 250 main event.
I'm down here with the winner, Hunter Lawrence, and I don't know what he's more excited about, that graphic that we saw that showed he has more podiums than his brother, or that main event win. But seriously, congratulations. Honestly, you made it look pretty easy.
It was cool, you know. I love a good win. But I think the real winners tonight are these crazy fans from Detroit, man. It's cold out there. It is freezing. And everyone, they just bunk it out and grinded it through. So shout out to Detroit, baby, Motor City. Stoked to get a win here on my first time here. And yeah, Jetson, got one more podium than your champ, so.
Great job tonight.
So check this out now. Hunter Lawrence, Jet Lawrence, the debate is building, and I feel responsible a little because I'm spicing this up. I love it. But look how even they are now. Equal in starts, equal in wins, equal in top fives. Hunter's got him in the podium. Jet he's got that title.
He's got the title.
But the fun part is they're gonna race soon. East Rutherford, East-West Showdown, and Hunter Lawrence has definitely leveled up to the highest level of 250 racing.
It's going to be fun to watch these guys duke it out, certainly. But there's other guys out there that are probably looking for an opportunity to beat them.
Take a look at the point standings now in the 250 East. Hunter Lawrence continues to pull. He's up 35 now, but look at Hayden Deegan has bounced back to third, while Max Anstey and Jordan Smith, they dropped down to 5-6.
Yeah, hate to see Anstey and Jordan Smith, what happened to them tonight. Just a night that they're going to want to forget. But what's really a bummer is they got a 4-week break, so they're going to have to sit on that.
So, Ricky, for Jordan Smith, I mean, I don't know. I guess we begin in the heat race, but it was the incident with Deegan, then another crash, another crash. The LCQ almost gets back, and then the last corner goes down. If you're him, how do you process this night from the crashes, the battles, the teammate drama? What do you think leaving here?
I mean, there's a couple ways to look at it. I mean, number one with Hayden, maybe taking the high road and got back to the truck and said, hey, we're not going to do this. We're teammates, and you need to back it down. But then he got a little over anxious, tried to make up time to get qualifying position. This is in the last chance qualifier. Anything happens in the last chance qualifier. He stalls his bike, but the crazy thing, he gets back up and going. I got to give it up to Chambers, okay? Chambers faked him out. All right, a lot of people saying, why did he go inside? Well, why did he go inside? Because Chambers timed it perfectly. He faked him out, said he thought he made Jordan Smith think that he was going to go the inside, and he didn't at the last second. So Jordan Smith's like, oh, I'm going to go wide open and sweep around him, and Chambers like, nah.
No.
And he made it. So kudos to Chambers for making the right move. He played it. You couldn't play it any better.
Perfect move by Chambers.
Yeah.
Jordan Smith obviously loses a bunch of points. Dramatic night. Max Anstey had his issues too. And for Will Christian, she has more on Max Anstey. Will?
Yeah, that's right, Daniel Ricci. A tough night for both of those guys there. For Max Anstey, we saw in the points, he was sitting comfortably second and now in fifth. I'm trying to find a silver lining there for the Englishman, you know, not being too biased here, but perhaps for Max, that is what he was telling me earlier, is that he's actually really looking forward to this break. He gets a few weeks off, and that's because him and the Firepower Honda team have been working very hard on the bike, but they've been kind of holding a few things back that they think will help him. They didn't want to go for it while he was in a great position there, sitting second in points. However, now they get a chance to test that stuff, and they really do believe, I was talking to Martin Davalos there, the team manager, they really do believe that this is going to help Max. So they have a couple of weeks now to figure that out. Max more so than a lot of the other 250 riders, because he's only riding Supercross. So where other 250 riders will be jumping on their bikes here now to start testing for outdoors for the motocross season, Max doesn't have that pressure. So he is looking forward to it. Obviously, he's got to rebound mentally from a tough night here in order to be able to go on and enjoy the next few weeks and get that out of it. But hopefully, if he can do that quickly, he can make the most of his time there. And perhaps when we see him back on track here, there's going to be, you know, some improvements. And there's not many points in it, so maybe he can start to claw them back.
And we will break it down all week long on the SMX Insider on Thursday. Check it out, SuperMotocross.com. You can catch that on YouTube. Jason Wygant and myself and Clinton Fowler are going to break everything down and try to make sense of the Detroit Supercross. Join your favorite Supercross athlete and support the kids at St. Jude in the Love Moto Stop Cancer campaign. Go to supercrosslive.com/St. Jude or text the word SUPER to 785-833 to become a monthly donor and receive this unique t-shirt as a gift for joining the fight to end childhood cancer. And we move to the 450 class, and Ricky, we have breaking news, like right now. Chase Sexton won the race. He gets to keep the win, but he jumped on a red cross flag. Well, the lights were blinking on that big double. He's going to lose 7 championship points. Keeps the win, but right here, 7 points.
See, watch him take off and jump over the start first corner, right? And you can see the lights are illuminated. Hard to see, but see on the takeoff of it, on the pylons, those lights are flashing. He jumps. You are not allowed to jump when those lights are flashing. As a rider, you need to be aware of that stuff. It happens. It was a simple mistake, but it's for everyone's safety. I understand that Chase didn't mean to do it. There's probably a lot of things going through his head. He saw Dean Wilson over there. That's who the red cross flags was out, but it doesn't matter. You still have to obey those red cross flags, and the flashing lights. And he wasn't aware. I don't know if he saw it, and he elected to jump on it. And he was penalized for it.
The 450 highlights from Detroit. Wild night. Ken Roxon's coming off the big win in Indianapolis. We're thinking maybe he gets another one. Cooper Webb, tough heat race, but we know how he is in the main events. And when the gate dropped for that 450 main event, the chaos began. There was passes and moves all over the place.
I'm going to tell you what, every time I come to the races this year, my mind is blown. I don't know what's going to happen, but great to see AC with the fabulous start.
Awesome for Adam. And then Aaron Plessinger thinking, all right, this is good for both these guys. Now for Aaron Plessinger, watch this run and rip through the whoops into the lead.
Yeah, look at getting back of his bike, getting that traction to the rear wheel, goes by, and he just sets sail from that point.
And then the passes just started going back and forth. First Webb on Cinderella. Here's Tomac.
Yeah, and this was kind of how it was. They could throw a blanket over all of these guys for, I'd say, 5 to 7 laps. Guys going back and forth, yo-yoing. 9 of Adam Cianciarulo. He's going to fall back a little bit, but back to the 2 and the 1. They're going to do this for quite some time. And you can see right there, Eli Tomac slips underneath the 2 of Cooper Webb. Cooper's going to follow in. Barsha's right there as well. Cooper's going to get back by. Great job for Cooper Webb to do that, and then allows the 51 to get by the 1. And then here comes Sexton.
Yeah, Chase Sexton had to go through almost everybody. Had a bad start, but started picking them off. He gets Tomac. He's going to get Webb. He's going to get Barsha. He gets all of them.
He does. I mean, I love the ride that Chase Sexton put on tonight. These are the kind of moments that he needs to remember, log it in his head, and ride like this every weekend. He does that, he's going to be Monster Energy Supercross champion someday.
How about that defense?
Yeah,
he was not going to get teed in that corner.
And it's so hard to play defense in those tight lanes like that, but he was able to do it.
Webb gets back by Barsha. Tomac eventually would too. Up the inside right here, makes that move in the rhythm section, so he's now into 4th. That's where he was, 4th.
Be interesting to see what happened, the 51 of Justin Barsha, but I hated to see this right here. It gets no closer than that. My heart hurts for Aaron Plessinger. It gets no closer. He said in an interview that he had sat down in that rut the whole time, and the one time he didn't, it got him.
So Sexton grabs the win. He does everything right in the race, Ricky. We've been asking and waiting for this. He does it, but that penalty, that one little mistake, is going to cost him 7 points. And for Aaron Plessinger, hard to watch this.
Well, you just got to think of the emotions. There you go, Chase Sexton. That was a great ride by him. It really was. I got to. We've been tough on him, rightfully so, the last 4 or 5 weeks. But what he did there, if he can do that every weekend, future's looking bright.
Sexton, Webb, Tomac, the big 3. 1, 2, 3 in points. We've seen that podium so many times. They do it again. Great ride by Barsha and Roxon. They were really good in Indianapolis. We wanted to know, could they do it again? They didn't do the same, but this was still really good.
Oh, it was really close. Look at Christian Craig doing well. Hey, Justin Hill and Josh Hill. Remember, Josh Hill was in the last chance qualifier. Hated to see Jason Anderson go down. Adam Cianciarulo still logging in another top 10.
Go to Will Christian to hear from the winner, Chase Sexton.
Thank you, Jason. Yes, here with Chase Sexton. Chase, you just heard Aaron's words. I mean, you I'm sure can feel his pain. You've been in that situation, but no, not tonight. You're on the other side of that. So for you, when you saw that go down and you knew that this win was on the table, what was going through your mind?
Honestly, I've been in that position too many times, and I was bummed to see Aaron fall. I was pretty far back. Obviously, there was lap traffic, but you know what? I rode solid the whole main event. I came from probably 8th and just clawed my way to the front. I needed this. This is a big win for me. I've had some tough races, and this one means a lot. How I rode tonight was super good for my confidence, and looking forward to Seattle and the rest of the season. I'm just stoked to be here in Detroit, and pumped to win tonight.
You earned it. Enjoy it. Thank you so much, Chase. Congratulations.
And he came in 13 down. He was going to leave 10 down, but he actually leaves 17 down, which is heartbreaking for your championship hopes. I mean, those 7 are huge.
Oh my goodness, that is a massive impact And you got to remember, we're winding down to this Supercross Championship portion of SMX World Championship. So this is going to hurt. He's running out of time, and he's going to be in a must situation. And that's tough to do late in the series, especially when you got guys like Eli Tomac, Cooper Webb riding as well as they are, and where they have to be up front to protect that points lead. So I hate that for Chase Sexton. He gets the win, but loses the points, and I think he'd rather have the points than the win.
We saw Marvin Musquin in a similar situation in Seattle a few years back, so we have seen this. And Ricky, as the race ended, you turned to me and said, "I don't even know what to think in this class anymore." Like, what? Dude. What do you think going into Seattle?
Here's the thing, like you like making predictions and you have favorites, and I just know, like, people always ask us, who do you think's going to win? We're getting text messages from friends, people within the industry. I'm like, stop asking me who I think is going to win, because it's going to be a straight up guess. I'm happy to go to Seattle. Hopefully the weather's good. I'd hate for it to be a mutter. I think for our fans' sake and the series' sake, if Mother Nature works out, it's going to be exciting. But I think it's as we get closer to the end of this Supercross Championship series, the mental game just becomes that more important. And you're watching the mental game come to fruition and raise its ugly little head.
So who wins Seattle?
See, I don't make predictions. I give my analysis.
Hey,
you know that.
I want it to be this guy. I want it to be this guy right here. Aaron Plessinger. Hey, my hero tonight.
Why they want to show these tear-jerking moments?
Because it's so important.
It is. It's a simple mistake to do. He said it. Hey, he was sitting down there getting his leg out. And what happened right there, you'll see. He just leans the bike over. The rut catches his toe. It's a simple, easy mistake to do. Daniel, you've done it. I've done it more times than I want to do it. I did in San Diego, 1999, my rookie season. And you could just see the emotions, because couple things. It was going to be his first one. Probably how easy it was for him. I shouldn't say easy, but rarely do you have a 7.5 second lead and ride it on into the sunset like that. So I hate it for him. Fan favorite, Aaron Plessinger, I appreciate you talking to JT. You don't know how much that means, not only for us, but the fans to hear you. And well done, my friend.
There's more with Jason.
This is where it all went wrong for Aaron Plessinger tonight. All the things he did right, one little mistake turned into a giant win. And I want you to look at this rut. This is the rut that Aaron was talking about in his crash, and he had been sitting down on entry all the way through this rut and seat bouncing onto this tabletop. And for whatever reason, even he couldn't explain it, he decided to stand up on that fateful lap. And when he did, it changed the angle and the location of his foot on the foot peg. Unfortunately, the foot came off. It grabbed the side of this rut, ripped him off the side of the bike, and the rest was history. So close to victory for Aaron Plessinger. One small mistake, and that's what Monster Energy Supercross is. It's a game of inches, and unfortunately for tonight, for Aaron Plessinger, just didn't work out.
As impressive as Aaron was on the bike until that fateful moment, I believe that maybe even more impressive was his interview after, just to be able to not only do it, but I'm inspired. I mean, I want him to win Seattle. I think everybody does. And here's Aaron Plessinger's thoughts after the race.
Aaron Plessinger, that's the best I've ever seen you ride. I know you have to be heartbroken right now. Tell us your thoughts. Unbelievable ride up until that moment.
Yeah, man. That one hurts. That one hurts a lot. Man, I was riding so good, and oh man, I don't know. I didn't stand up in that rut the whole moto, and sat down and put my foot out. And the one time I think it's all right to stand up, it catches my foot and rips me right off the bike. And oh man, I couldn't believe it flying through the air like that. And I just tried to tuck, and I don't know, man. It was a hard hit. I tried to get back up, and man, the bike was smoking, and I probably could have finished, but. Man, that hurts. But, you know, get back up on the saddle and get back up there at Seattle. I love Seattle, so, man, don't count me out. I'm not done yet. Man, I was riding so good. I'm so proud of my riding, and I love these fans, man. I could hear them the whole way. And, man, Chase is riding a great race, but, you know, it happens. And, I'd like to say a lot of other words, but I can't say them on TV. So we'll be back with a vengeance. Starts are good, I'm good, fitness is good. I just got to stay on the bike next time.
Well, I think that's the first time I've ever heard a crowd yell more for somebody after they've crashed than while they were winning the race. So everybody appreciated the effort, and we'll see you next week in Seattle.
Sounds good. Thank you. Thank you to the fans. I love Detroit. Wish I could have won it, but, you know, we'll get them next year.
So I'm not going to ask you who you think's going to win Seattle. I'm going to ask you, can that man win Seattle?
Oh,
can he win?
If he rides like he did tonight, absolutely. And I would love to. It would be a fairy tale story. Oh. There's no doubt about that. It would be sweet redemption, and I think everyone's pulling for Aaron Plessinger next week.
AP7. Put the work in this week. Get it done. Grind away. Come back in Seattle. It's going to be a fun one. You've been very successful there. Remember the big old belly flop into the puddle? Come on, Aaron.
That's right.
AP7, do it in Seattle. It's going to be a fun one. We're heading to the West Coast. Race day live will be 4:30 p.m. Eastern on Peacock. We go racing at 10 Eastern on Peacock. And, of course, there is a re-air on March 27th on a Monday. Go to supermotocross.com for more information. Here's the Yamaha track map for Seattle. RC, what you got?
I haven't seen it yet, so this is the first time I'm looking at it. Long start. Big, wide, sweeping 180. Medium-sized rhythm lanes, short whoop section. You know who's good when it's a short whoop section on that 450 team, or on that 450 class. So that's going to be exciting. It's anyone's game. Oh, man, my mind is just absolutely exploding after this weekend, and it's a great time to be a Supercross fan, no doubt about that. Great job. Great having you up here in the booth tonight, and we're going to do it again next week in Seattle.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Last thing before we go, 250 West is back. Jet Lawrence, Cameron McAdoo, RJ Hampshire, your Daytona Heat Race winner in the 450. So 250 West is back next week. And, of course, the 450, the story, this dramatic story of the 2023 Monster Energy Supercross Championship continues in Seattle. Wild night in Detroit. For Ricky Carmichael, Will Christian, Jason Thomas, I'm Daniel Blair. Thanks for tuning in to the post-race show. We'll catch you all week as we break it down. And we go racing in Seattle next week.